Hello and welcome to the Evercade Retreat. Gene Joke here, and today I'm adding Blazing Star from the Neo Geo Super Pocket to my ever-growing list where I rank every Evercade game ever. As yet it hasn't been announced to be on an Evercade cartridge, but hopefully that will change some point in 2026. I guess I've just given the game away there, as I said unfortunately, which means this is going to be a fairly positive review. Anyway, Blazing Star is a horizontally scrolling shoot 'em up that was released in 1998 for the Neo Geo arcade hardware, and it's the spiritual successor to Polestar, which I've never played and know nothing about. So let's start off with the visuals. There's no getting away from it, Blazing Star is a very good looking game. The overall aesthetic is very bright and colourful for the most part, although it's very sci-fi and has an almost Gaiares-esque biomechanical style, particularly towards the later game. It's just all done in a very bright, colourful, almost anime style. Well, kind of, but there's certainly an anime or manga sort of influence to the design. The sprites and backgrounds generally seem to be pre-rendered 3D work, and it is exceptionally well done here. Often it's a look that I don't care for, but I have zero issues with it here. The enemies are well designed and often very well animated. There's loads of parallax layers and there's just a lot going on. Sometimes a bit too much. It can sometimes be detrimental, but for the most part I'd say the game is, well, a visual feast is probably the best way to describe it. On the sound front, while the music is high energy, very arcadey as opposed to more atmospheric, but it really works for the game. What I really don't like is the announcer. The constant yelling of bonus and some other things gets irritating. It feels very out of place in a game like this. Such things might be fine on a fighting game or a racing game, or something like Dance Dance Revolution, but it takes me out of the feel of the game itself. The same way that doesn't work for me. When I mentioned about the graphics being a bit too over the top at some points, this extends to the score bonus pop-ups, things like that. It just gets a bit too chaotic at times. Sometimes less is indeed more. Still, it is all very well done, so maybe it's just a personal preference thing. On the gameplay front, it's predominantly very standard shoot 'em up stuff, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. You've got your charge shots, which does what charge shots do. It's got a little bit more nuance than that. It's not your standard charge shot, and it varies depending on the ship that you choose. And the ship variety, again, is fairly standard stuff. Do you go for something that's balanced, or that's more fast, or has more firepower? But it is done very well. There also seems to be a bit of depth to the scoring system, with various multipliers for chain killing enemies or getting every enemy in a wave or something. I don't tend to pay too much attention to that when I'm playing, but it is there if you do want to play for high score. In terms of difficulty, it starts off very modest. However, later in the game it does get quite punishing. Or maybe that's more of a side effect of playing it on the Super Pocket, because on that small screen with everything being chaotic and loads going on, it's not the best combination. It is perfectly playable on the small screen. I would just prefer to play it on a larger screen, which is why I said earlier, unfortunately it's so far not announced for an Evercade cartridge. I do hope that changes, because I enjoy this game. I think it is the best of the Neo Geo shoot 'em ups that I have played so far, but I wouldn't consider it an all-time classic shoot 'em up. While the gameplay is solid, I do feel that overall the game is more style over substance. To place it on my overall ranking list, I'm going to put it above Saint Dragon but below 1943. I suspect that if it does come to an Evercade cartridge, it might end up getting bumped up the list slightly, as it's a game that very much benefits from you being able to enjoy the sumptuous visuals on a larger screen. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.